1. Inferior military technology. One of the most significant reasons for China's loss was its outdated weaponry and naval capabilities. The Qing military relied on traditional weapons such as matchlock muskets, bows, spears, and swords, which were no match for Britain's superior firearms, including rifled muskets and cannons. British warships, such as the steam-powered Nemesis, were equipped with heavy artillery and had greater maneuverability, allowing them to dominate China's wooden junks in naval battles. The British Royal Navy's iron-hulled ships and advanced cannons provided a decisive advantage, rendering Chinese defenses ineffective. 2. Weak naval power. China's navy was vastly inferior to Britain's. The Qing dynasty had neglected its naval forces for decades, relying on outdated junks that were slow and poorly armed. In contrast, Britain had a powerful, modern navy that could enforce blockades, bombard coastal defenses, and move troops efficiently. The British Navy's dominance allowed it to control key ports, disrupt trade, and dictate the terms of engagement. 3. Poorly trained and corrupt military. The Qing military was not only poorly trained but also plagued by corruption. Many officers lacked experience in modern warfare, and soldiers were often recruited from peasant backgrounds with minimal training. Corruption within the military led to inefficiency, misallocation of resources, and a lack of discipline. In contrast, the British forces were well-trained, professional, and experienced in colonial warfare, giving them a significant advantage on the battlefield. 4. Internal political weakness. The Qing dynasty was already facing internal struggles, including widespread corruption, bureaucratic inefficiency, and rebellions. The ruling elite was disconnected from military affairs and slow to respond to external threats. The emperor and his advisors underestimated the British threat, believing that China's historical superiority and numerical strength would be sufficient to repel foreign invaders. This complacency led to poor strategic decisions and a failure to prepare adequately for war. 5. Economic and industrial disparities. Britain was in the midst of the Industrial Revolution, which provided it with advanced manufacturing capabilities, superior transportation, and an efficient logistics system. China, on the other hand, had a pre-industrial economy that was struggling to sustain its massive population. The lack of industrialization meant that China could not produce modern weapons or ships at the same rate as Britain. This economic gap translated into a stark military disadvantage.